Well, I had a video recorded for this, but then I did some more digging and found that, dang, this rabbit hole is a lot deeper than I had previously realized, and like roaches fleeing a wood stack, once they were brought to light, the DEI consultation firms are suddenly covering my Twitter feed. So let me restart by explaining how ESG infiltrates studios. This applies to more than just game studios, but for the purposes of this video, we will be keeping to game studios and publishers. This usually goes along the lines of this. The studio is struggling. Now, this can mean that they are doing really bad or they are doing okay on paper, but not as well as the shareholders would like. And instead of looking at what they are doing wrong and scrapping what is not working, or looking at what they could do better, they choose to look for secondary streams of income, by which I mean mergers or supplementation via ESG cash. And of course, that ESG cash doesn't come free. The studio must have all non-ESG compliant personnel punted for pinko purity reasons. Once this is accomplished, the studio does one of two things. A, they start to push diversity, inclusion, and equity themselves, or sometimes and they hire a DEI consultation firm that tells them how to be a good little communist, so that they too can appeal to the ESG overlords at your mega fund of choice. Once they get in, like the parasites they are, you are going to have a dang hard time pulling them out. Once this phase is reached, the studio death spirals. They turn out their next title, and it's woke as a joke, and the fans revolt. Thusly, the studio and their new handlers respond in typical vicious commie fashion, calling those awful gamers, whatever politically charged expletive is popular at the time. This will happen, of course, until the company becomes too expensive to subsidize, because the customer is no longer buying from a company that calls them racist, and the ESG funding is finite. See Rocksteady. I know that some black-pilled tards will say that ESG is too big and that nothing you can do can hurt them. Here is the fly in that punch bowl. Look at Hollywood. Studios are shuttering or cutting loads of projects and personnel. Hell, look at the gaming studios like Rocksteady or WotC. They, or their overlords, must tank the hit. Let me hand you a white pill. The ESG market lost $5 trillion with a T just as of last November. The ESG overlords are reeling from this. It will take a while for this to totally die out because we are dealing with investment firms that have funds in the tens of trillions, but the ESG corporations are the victims of their own success in that they are spread too thin. See this right here? Those are ticks, and while individually they are a disgusting nuisance, as a mass like that there, they will kill any large animal by sucking it dry. This is what these studios and consultant firms are to the great beast that is the ESG cabal. Now, there are other ways these consultation firms get in. It's not always a studio that is struggling. There are always exceptions to a rule. They also get in by threat of unleashing the cancel pigs or by being invited in by willing hosts. However, they're a bit like demons. You have to invite them in. And here is the thing. Groups like Sweet Baby Inc. Detected are making these consultation firms toxic to brands, and no one with a functional prefrontal cortex is going to let them anywhere near their company ever again. The general public is becoming aware of them, and like any demon, the first step to banishing it back to hell is learning its name. But that's about all I've got for today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Pete, the Radical Nerd, signing off.